Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 37th episode of Final Round. As always I'm Black Squeak and this horsefucker is Gibby.
We would like to apologize for the delay in getting these predictions up as well as not being able to do predictions for Strikeforce. Our director has been extremely busy, and with Sharon Stone getting into the UFC locker and causing injuries and swine flu, production has been hectic.
But nevertheless, we finally have the UFC 106 predictions up tonight. First up on this much changed card will be Caro the Heat Parisian against Dustin Hazlitt. This is going to be a good fight despite it not being eye-catching. Hazlitt's got a fantastic future ahead of him, while the Heat knows how to fight. It's going to be a battle between youth and experience, if you ask me, but I feel the Heat will take the win here.
Dustin hasn't faced tough competition. His only real big-named fight was a loss against Josh, the cunt, Koscheck. I feel Caro needs this win to stay in the UFC. He isn't on good terms following his suspension, and will show some signs of ring rust. I do feel he is a more legitimate competitor for the welterweight belt, but luck just hasn't went his way. This will be a close fight, but I feel the Heat has enough in the tank to take the win.
Up next is the debut of Antonio Ruggiero Nogueira, yes Minotaurus twin, against Louis Kane. This has potential to be a good fight. Mini Nogueira has a very good record, and has only lost against the likes of Shogun, Vladimir, and Sokojo. Kane is slowly emerging in the UFC, but he's far away from getting into the top list of the light heavyweight division. A win here would get him one step closer to that. Kane is a TKO specialist, while Nogueira mainly goes to a decision win.
Kane has to rock him hard in this fight to get a huge win, and one step closer to more super fights in his division. I think he can take Mini Nogueira, but he has to rock him, shake him and knock him out to get the impact he needs for his career. Nogueira's experience is the key for him. I think he can last all 3 rounds and cope with Kane. But any newcomer in UFC needs to make an instant impact, so really he has to do the same as Kane here. I expect a Nogueira win by making Kane tap with a submission.
Now up is a very weird booked fight between Amir Sadallah against the returning New York badass, Phil Baroni. This is just, I can't really say what to make of this.
We have a rookie in Amir, who is still green when it comes to MMA in the octagon, and we have utter shit in the form of Baroni. I really was surprised that the UFC resigned Baroni, because he sucks like trying to get Stephen Hawking to make sex noises. He hasn't beaten any good fighters, he hasn't proved himself to get this deal, and quite frankly, I want Sadallah to win.
I really don't know if this will last all 3 rounds or be stopped, because it's such a mismatch. To be honest, it's probably the best for both of them to get each other.
I don't think this should be in the main fight card, but it's there. I want Sadallah win, but he's so inexperienced that he's pretty much jumping in a shark tank when he signed up, so I'm gonna go with the New York shit, Phil Baroni.
We now have the latest sub-main event of the fight between your favorite fighter Josh, the cunt, Koscheck against the Iron Tank, that is Anthony Rumble Johnson. This guy is fucking huge, like Koscheck's ego. We're going to see a war between Josh's boxing and wrestling, against Johnson's pure fucking strength.
I will suck Anthony Johnson's dick if he knocks out Koscheck. Seriously, I will suck his black dick and call him God. But this will be a boxing war and the cunt will need to utilize his wrestling skills, but we don't want that to happen now, don't we? So yes, come on Anthony Johnson, be my hero and knock his friggin' lights out.
We now have the main event of the pay-per-view between the return of Tito Ortiz against Forrest Griffin, though it was originally against old fucker Mark Coleman. However, Coleman pulled out, probably likely due to old ageness. So we now have a rematch on the cards here.
To the only YouTube user in the go, fuck yourself Hall of Fame, Black Plastic 420. This is why we rip at Mark Coleman, slate Mark Coleman and quite frankly call him an old dinosaur that refuses to die. He reminds me of that elderly dude you see in a grocery store that fights for the last carton of milk. Coleman doesn't have it at top level anymore, and a win over Stefan Bonner won't hype up your credibility or reputation.
Can we get on about the match now, dickhead?
Go fuck Mark Coleman's groin strap. Griffin needs the win badly, simple as that. He got humiliated against Silva and Evans. A loss here will kill him. Ortiz is going to have some ring rust, so Griffin should take that advantage. Ortiz's position in top of the light heavyweights is safe. Hell, I can even see him getting a big-name super fight soon. This will be close, but I'm leaning towards Griffin by decision. If Griffin can't win here, then he has to look at himself in the mirror and think maybe it's time for a change.
I can see where you're coming from. I'm thinking more of an Ortiz win here though. He has the experience and has been in this position before. Okay, maybe not, as long as the time he's been away, but this should be an excellent fight no matter what.
Much better than Ortiz versus a T-Rex. But that is it for us. We'll try be back for Strikeforce and the UFC review. See you fuckers later.